they're trying.
Yeah.
And what they're doing is they're going back to the law, and they're putting regulations and stuff, and they're literally saying you must do these things to be saved.
Yeah.
That is a problem. That's antithetical to the gospel.
Well, it is. Read Colossians, for crying out loud. We are at.
Well, first off,
we don't want to
I don't know. Can they hear that it's raining?
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's pouring.
So what that means is Tanner's not working, and so I've come on over. We're meeting at the Great Hall. We don't want to tell where it's at.
Don't want to tell where it's at.
It's a secret location in Shelby County.
Yep.
And this is
deep underground in a bunker.
Exactly.
But yeah, so one of our members has this nice shop that he has opened up for the Great Hall, because we were getting too crowded in your Hall of Fire. And so we wanted to start something where more of the men of the church are coming, because we've been doing sermon session on Monday nights for a long time, and it started out, it was just kind of the guys that were preaching or teaching.
Yeah, that's like 8 to 12.
Yeah.
And other guys that hung around that. Just wanted.
Because we went through Bob Inc.
Yeah.
And so we were going through some theology books, and it was good, and it started growing and growing until it was just, we couldn't hardly fit in your room you had.
Yeah.
And so this was offered, and this is fantastic. It's more of an open shop, and so we can smoke pipes and
these chairs were donated by a church in New Albany, and I think we got 67 of these chairs or something, and we had about 35, 40 people.
30 or 40 guys
come out last night for the first, and there was a lot of guys that had said they're going to come, but they're missing from that.
So we started I think it was your idea, the Institute of Issachar.
Yeah.
And so
Issachar being a man who knew what time it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's the goal. You've got the book there. We're going to go through the Essential Truths of the Christian Faith by R.C. Sproul. We'll just do a chapter a week, and it's short and concise. And last night was good. We talked about Revelation, general and special, from the first chapter, and it'd be good. I waited to see how it went last night, but I'm going to start bringing Elisha.
Yeah,
and
be good.
So
this book is probably a book that a lot of people know about.
Yeah.
It's just been around for a while, and it's really good, but it's bite size.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be good to explain the format, but basically, so we're still doing sermon session.
Yep.
Which is a critique of the prior day, weeks, whatever, prior time that we'd hadn't met since, to talk about how the sermon went.
Yep.
What was good about it, what was bad about it, what we needed to improve on, those kind of things.
Yep.
And so that invites our discipleship hour, open air preaching, any of those kind of things.
Yes.
And so last night we did the sermon that I had preached and the discipleship hour, and they chopped me up, and it was good.
Yeah.
It was a good time. And then we talk about issues that are happening in our church.
Yep.
We had a security issue that happened yesterday, and we just kind of walk through that. It's good to have, because these are men. These are the heads of households.
Sure.
Effectively.
Yep.
Some of them. And so we walk through that, and then we're doing this book. And the goal of that is a couple things. One, we're trying to help, obviously, men that need to understand theology, so they go through this. And that's first and foremost. And then second is to equip them to go into their homes and do family worship, and this is a good source for that.
Yep.
So they can go through that with their family. And then I think the third thing is we want to give men the opportunity to teach these things.
Yes.
And so that's part of my goal today. I don't know if I'm going to get it done, but I want to assign out who is going to teach what chapter. And they're going to teach it as though nobody knows it, even though we've all come and read and we're all prepared to talk about it. And
we're going to test some gifts a little bit.
Yeah, we test some gifts, and then we can give feedback and allow them.
And frankly, sermon session is kind of where we have started identifying those guys that have that ability to articulate, have that ability to teach and to, that are perceptive
Yep.
and discerning. And so this is just a good opportunity to kind of flesh some of that out.
Yeah, you can see it in their answers. That they,
Oh, yeah.
when they have an insight into the text and how they see it. So finding a proposition, dividing,
Yeah.
breaking down the text, how we might present that. So anyways, I think it's good for people to hear about that, because hopefully other churches and other places start doing stuff like this. Just get their guys together.
It's very similar to what Brett Baggett's done out in Oklahoma with his Shepherd's School. That's way more formal.
Yeah.
This is way more. This is informal, same goal in mind.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Just
anyway.
equipping and part of that. But anyway, so we had a question for today that we wanted to answer. What was the question?
So, says, I have a buddy whose wife works at a local mechanic shop. His wife's working in a mechanic shop? Anyway, sorry.
Sounds like
Don't get distracted.
Rough crowd.
Man.
A receptionist.
Yeah, receptionist.
Or is she a mechanic?
The people in charge say they are Christian, but told her she's biblically illiterate because she eats pork, and because of that, she will not enter heaven. Thoughts?
I have lots of thoughts. That's ridiculous.
We should have been frying bacon.
Yeah, we should have bacon. We cook up some bacon here. Oh, that's ridiculous. No, we've actually had people that carry some of those thoughts have come through our fellowship, and then they realize they're not comfortable here, and then they're, especially when I'm eating
pork in front of them.
Got a big old pork chop on the bone.
You got Hebrew roots movement, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's big. So it's just people that are caught in the Old Testament and don't understand the tripart division of the law.
Yeah.
And so they think that all of that applies to us, and we have to be doing that in order to. They're basically trying to resurrect old Israel. The holiness code, that set Israel apart from all the other nations. Got to give him all these dietary laws that they had to do. And, and not just that, the mixed fabrics, that kind of stuff, all that happened. But
I haven't met anyone that's very strict on the mixed fabrics yet.
No,
but because that's too hard.
Yeah. Well, no, I think they probably are.
There are people out there.
I imagine that they're doing it here as well.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah. So this is actually a real thing. People encounter it, but I would encourage this lady that she's going to go to heaven if she has faith in Christ, and it doesn't have to add onto that some dietary laws. So and if anybody ever comes to my house and I cook for you, I've got an apron that has Mark 7:19 on the front of that, and everybody's like, well, what is it? I'm like, well, you better read that. And so let's read it. You got it?
Yes. All right, so let me back up. 7:18. And he said to them, are you so lacking in understanding also? Do you not understand that whatever goes into the man from outside cannot defile him, because it does not go into his heart, but into his stomach, and is eliminated. Thus he declared all foods clean. So he's not saying that if you eat something and it has salmonella, you can't get sick. He's talking about a spiritual defilement, a defilement of the heart. And so there's no food that by taking it in defiles you spiritually.
Right.
Zero.
Yeah.
And then the note that the writer of Mark put in here was, therefore Christ is declaring all foods clean.
The argument on that passage is that our translators and the people that have put our Bibles together, I've had this debate with them. They're saying they have inserted that, but unfortunately for them, that's in the Greek.
Yeah.
That's actually in our original manuscripts.
Yeah.
And so Mark, who's writing this at Peter's, this is Peter's account that Mark has given to us. So Peter's the one who is telling us, thus he declared all foods clean. Which
makes perfect sense, because Peter's the one that had the vision of all the unclean animals coming down in the sheet.
Yeah.
And Christ, or God says, rise and eat.
Yeah.
And Peter's offended by that.
Yeah.
And of course God is making a point that the gospel is to go to the Gentiles as well.
Yeah.
But you also have in Romans, Paul deals with this in Romans 14, about the eating food that were sacrificed to idols, eating food that Jews didn't want to eat. And Paul said, no, I eat what's in front of me.
Yeah.
But if I can avoid making an offense, then I do that.
Right.
You know, I've got brothers in Ethiopia, and they struggle with this. The Ethiopian Orthodox, there's certain things they won't eat. And so, and it's kind of a cultural thing in Ethiopia because there's lots of Orthodox and Muslims, and none of them eat pork. So there's no market for pork, except for the Chinese people that build the roads. There's no market for pork in Ethiopia.
Yeah.
So it's just a cultural thing they don't do.
Right.
So if I had Nagash to my house, I'm probably not cooking pork chops.
No.
Just because I don't want to bother him. But he recognizes it's not a spiritual defilement. It's kind of even a cultural, it'd be like us eating bats. It's like, I'm just not going to do that.
Don't eat bats. Don't cause COVID. That's hilarious.
Yeah. But yeah, or going to somewhere in Asia and eating a rat.
I took my son and his and my daughter-in-law, his wife, and my wife to K-Pot in Louisville. Have you ever gone to there? It's a Korean barbecue, so you get the Korean, the barbecue in front. You get a little pot that you can boil stuff, and then
you get to pick your cat.
Yeah, well, effectively, you order, and it's all of this meat, and it's not just pork, but it's octopus. So we're literally frying up octopus and stuff like that.
That's cool.
This mechanic shop would have lost their minds watching us do that.
Yeah. So people do the same thing with shellfish. So, you can't eat shellfish because Scripture says if it doesn't have fins, and scales,
I love lobster.
Can't eat it, dude.
I was talking to your dad. We need to have a crawfish boil here.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So the issue is what spiritually defiles me. They're articulating that what spiritually defiles you is they're actually saying the opposite of what Jesus is saying here, what he's communicating to them. So it's not what goes into the body, it's what comes out. So out of the heart is where, all our evil thoughts, defilement, those kind of things come out.
Yes.
And that reveals what your heart is like. And so what do we need? We need a new heart.
Well, Christ says the same thing about the washing of hands before you eat.
Yeah.
Those things don't defile you. It's what comes out of the heart and out of the mouth that defiles you.
Yeah.
And so he actually says this multiple times. It's not the one time. And even if we didn't have that section in parentheses there in Mark, we recognize what he's saying. So anyway,
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is honestly, it's a dumb argument.
It is a dumb argument.
What it does is it shows their scriptural illiteracy. They don't understand that. In the tripart division of the law, the moral law is what emanates out of God's character and stuff, and then we have judicial laws that help to govern a nation, and then we have
civil order.
We have, and then there's this what we call this the ceremonial law, which separates them from the other nations and also prefigures what Christ was going to accomplish.
Which included all kinds of stuff, like a woman couldn't go to the temple, during her period.
Yeah.
And those kind of things. It's like if we're going to maintain, it's like people want to pull out these little things like not eating crawfish or pork, but then there's so many things in the ceremonial law that they would never go by.
Well, no, hold up there, because I do think that the Hebrew Roots movement, they're attempting to do all of those things as well.
Yeah.
They're trying to maintain those as best as they can. And we would argue it's challenging and say, well, you can't do it all. They're trying, and what they're doing is they're going back to the law and they're putting regulations and stuff, and they're literally saying you must do these things to be saved.
Yeah,
that is a problem. That's antithetical to the gospel.
Well, it is. Read Colossians, for crying out loud.
Yeah,
it's like when you get to, Paul said those who write, those who are teaching don't taste, touch, or handle certain things because it defiles you spiritually. You're adding to the gospel.
Yeah.
And so when you add to the gospel, you've perverted the gospel and you have a false gospel.
Yeah.
And so they're accusing this woman of being biblically illiterate, and maybe she is, I don't know, but she is walking in the Christian tradition.
Yeah.
That is, we eat pork, we eat all these things,
Yeah.
So
then on a practical level, maybe you need to find a new job if these people are causing these kind of issues for you.
Start listening to R.C. Sproul on speakerphone.
There you go. Yeah. Start bringing tracks, put them around, make it
it's
pretty
actually
difficult.
A Protestant tradition. What year was it? It was during the Reformation.
Okay.
But you weren't supposed to eat pork on Fridays, right? And so all the Protestants would just that's all. Sausage was Fridays. You eat sausage on Fridays, man. Tell the Pope to pound sand.
I don't know if they can hear it, man.
Yeah.
It is coming down hard.
Surely they can hear that.
This roof is
it's metal.
It's metal, so you can hear every little drop. All right, so that's the answer to that question. Hopefully that helps you.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of resources for whoever that lady is. There's lots of resources. I would recommend R.C. Sproul on this.
Yeah.
But him, John MacArthur, there's all kinds of guys you could look up to better bolster your own position and
100%.
to just be confident.
Yep. I wonder if he deals with that in here.
I doubt it.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't recall. All right, thanks for
It's been
tuning in.
years since I went through that book.
Yeah.
God bless.